Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Investors Copy Time at 8 p.m. Today is a Tuesday, right? And market is still holding strong, although at first in the earlier session it was down a little bit, but finally it rebounded back again. And even the U.S. market right now, the futures are up despite the riot happening in the U.S. So it seems that the bulls are still charging ahead, lah, right? And today's session will be quite interesting, right? Because what we're going to share with you is basically, the experiences that Alvin, myself, and our team has gone through in our investing and trading journey, and of course the obstacles that we have faced as well, right? When we try to apply the skills that we have learned, especially in the initial stage when we started, there's of course a lot of roadblocks, right? And now that we already have the technology and we have our experience, so what we want to try to do is to actually reduce the friction, right, in applying the skills that we have learned, right? Because when I started trading, right, it's like, yeah, you learn all the skills, you learn how to look at the indicators and so on and so forth, but when it comes to applying, right, then there are some setbacks, there are some hurdles that we have to go through. So later we will share with you, and later with the combined experience that we have, we're going to share with you what we have for you guys, all right? So that you will not be able to go through the hassle that we have gone through in our investment and trading journey, all right?
Yeah.
So guys, welcome. If you can hear us, just say yes, right? So that we know that you can hear us and see us loud and clear. And for those who have just joined us in our investors copy time, we're going to have this on a daily basis, right, at 8 p.m. So make sure that you like our page, our Facebook page, so that you can get notified whenever we go live or whenever we post a session that's going to be talked about in the next 1 or 2 days. All right. So please like our page and follow us on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get the notification as well. All right. Now, before we start, again, we have to go through our ritual disclaimer. Right. So whatever that's being discussed here today is for informational and also educational purposes, right? It is not intended as investment advice. So if you're gonna get investment advice, you have to get it from a licensed investment professional or advisor. All right. Okay, so let me start again to just share with you what are the friction, what are the hurdles that we have gone through. Maybe Alvin can add on later his journey as well, right? Because in trading, one of the problems is when you started to learn about techniques and skills, how to invest or how to trade. In my case, because I started off as a trader, right? You already know how to do. You already find what indicators to use and so forth. But because the stock market has so many counters you can trade, right? Like there are more than 1,000, including warrants and all the other derivatives, right? So the thing is that yes, you can apply, but if you apply in the wrong stock, then you may not be able to get a potential. So one of the things that I always regret is you when the price or the market start to move, you actually have quite a number of stock that move together, right? And you start to pick the wrong one, all right? You find the others start to move, and your counter that you bought don't move, all right? And it's very frustrating, lah. Okay. And of course, the other thing is that if you do not have a tool, it's also very difficult to identify a counter that meet the specific criteria that you want. Right? It can be fundamentals, it can be technicals, right? So you know that you want the company to fit this criteria, but question is, how do you find these companies, right? And if I don't have the tool, I have to actually look at one by one. I mean, how can I go through 1,000 over counters and try to find opportunities, right? So by the time I look at a whole 1,000 over counters, probably the market has already moved, right? And it's very difficult, right? So of course, that time 20 years ago when I was trading, technology was still not so advanced yet, right? So we really have to go and look at one counter at a time. But of course, we cannot look at everything. For me, I only focus on a few counters, right? Maximum I can look at is probably like 30, 40 counters a day, right? To go through all the charts. And even the 30, 40 counters a day, I have to go through like, the whole night, So again, it really takes a lot of my time. It really takes a lot of effort. And the worst thing is you identify one counter, okay, and you buy the counter, you buy the company, the stock, but others move and not the counter that you move. So all the hard work is basically gone, right? So over the time, of course, we have actually developed, and for myself, I've developed some algos to actually help us to identify these opportunities. And basically, this is what we want to share with you today. And of course, Alvin will basically be sharing what we have in offer for you guys, so that you are able to reduce this friction that we have gone through previously, and with the help of technology. All right. So maybe Alvin, you want to start off with your experience first, without the help of tech.
Yeah. Actually, I think maybe my experience slightly different. When I joined Equities Tracker about more than 15 years ago, what happened was, we had version 1 of the website, right, which is very, very rudimentary. We had a ton of data. And really the question was, how could we continuously simplify it? Not only do we have to continuously simplify it, we need to make sure that the data or the algos that we write actually work, right? So I there was a lot of stumbling around. There was a lot of massaging, and before I joined, there were another 25 years behind it that actually was working on this data set, right? So this data set is actually quite big. So for those of you who don't know the roots of Equities Tracker, in the very early days, what the founder used to do was actually to buy 1,000 shares those days, one lot, just to get the annual report, and then take those annual report and actually digitize it, right? We've gone through so many iterations to what it is. The ultimate sort of goal was really to see, did any of this information make sense, and could we actually have an advantage using the information we have, right? And today, is probably the 100th iteration of what we're doing. But we've been continuously developing our website. And during this period, since, everyone's working from home, we're also working very hard behind the scenes for all our members and our clients. Really, the whole idea is, how do you become more data driven and make more informed investing decisions? So that is really the goal, and ultimately to reduce the friction, right? I know everyone's dream is this, right? I just click and then you tell me what to buy and what to sell. Right?
That could probably be our next stage, right?
That's the next stage, all right. So if that is your dream, let us know in your comment section below. You can just type dream in the comment section below. If your dream is really just to click and then you tell me what to buy, what to sell, right? Although I cannot say that it's possible with 100% accuracy at this point in time, but I think we've got something very cool in store for you guys. So for all of the old-time subscribers who've been subscribing for a long time, thank you very much for your support during this COVID-19 period. We, of course, have an announcement for you guys. Well, thank you for supporting us. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are today. And also the new subscribers who really just joined us last month, we hope we bring you value, and really you get a lot out from the 200 investment that you are investing with us, right? So as you noticed last night, or if those of you who have already logged in, you can see there are some changes. We actually went back and redrew the whole plan and really trying to figure out how could we, with so much data, how do we actually make it simpler for investors? And really, I'll just go through very quickly. So if you guys have already logged in, you will now see that. Before that, for all our subscribers, this Saturday at 3 p.m., we're actually having our June club meeting. We're going to be talking about hard disk drives. Okay, I know it's very peculiar, but it's a little bit of a follow through from our semiconductor session last month that we had. So tomorrow we're actually going to, just do a short one on copy time, and of course a lot more in-depth one is going to be covered at our monthly club session, which is happening on Saturday, 3 p.m. Okay, so technically we're still on MCO. So you shouldn't be anywhere, right? And especially those of you kids, you're not allowed to bring your kids out to the shopping mall, okay? Or you're discouraged from, right? So that's going to be happening on Saturday. Yeah, so stay tuned. So one of the things that we have done is that we've completely relooked at the website, redrawn it. And one of the things that we have now created a platform for is this thing called apps, or Genius apps, you can call it, right? All these apps ultimately, we were thinking, maybe we don't have all the algorithms, perhaps, right? Perhaps some of you guys that do in the market maybe longer, or you could see another way of using that data, right? So the way forward for us to do this is really to create that platform where we will initially write all the apps. Of course, going forward, our subscribers could also write their own apps, possibly. Okay. So we went with that vision and saying that literally there will be an app for every aspect of investing that will be put in there, right? So we've just launched our first 2 apps, which actually has been a lot of hard work over behind the scenes, but more importantly is actually a lot of the experience and algo that we actually had to write to get to some of these apps that we built. So if you have actually landed, you're gonna be shown new apps on your landing page, right? And you see we've actually as we try to drive and merge the platform into a more singular platform, what used to be known as Equities Portfolio Manager, we've now renamed it as your sidekick, right? So this is your sidekick for investing. So everyone needs to have a portfolio, because your portfolio is the one that's going to drive and help you make those decisions as well, just as important as fundamental or even technical data, right? So you're going to be so play around with them. Of course, we won't have time to go through it, but we have quite a few apps lined up. Okay, so stay tuned. The idea bin is very full. Of course, if you guys have any ideas on apps that you want us to build on this platform, now when we call it apps, it's an easier way to think about it, because everyone has a phone and you can download apps, right? It's the same concept. So if you're thinking app is not on your phone right now, these are desktop apps or platform apps. Okay, so eventually you're gonna see more and more apps that will be coming out. I don't want to spoil the surprise yet. So when we actually launch it, we're gonna share with you guys more on apps, right? But today we wanted to focus on these 2 apps here on top. These are actually completely brand new. These are known as ideas, right? So it almost looks like artificial intelligence ideas, right? Actually it's meant to, right? So it's actually not artificial intelligence, it's actually automated ideas. So these ideas are for stock picking, and what we have done with ideas here is that we've created a value investing portion, which is fundamental analysis, 100% based on fundamentals. And then we have one ideas which is purely based on trading or technical analysis ideas, right? At some point, so Benny and I will be talking about some of these ideas and really how to use it for all of you guys. Now, if you don't have an account yet, you can still sign up for a free account today. You will get completely free for 2 weeks. All you need to do is send us a WhatsApp to 8408-2070. Sorry, let me repeat. 03-8408-2070. Send us a WhatsApp there. If you haven't been registered before, we actually give you access to this for 2 weeks free. Okay. I just saw 𝐕𝘃𝗀𝐀 type in AIDS. Okay. You can say it's an investor aid as well. Okay. Not in the way that you meant it, right? Ideas, okay, so they call ideas. So I'm gonna go through really what it is. These are automated ideas. So there are 2 sections to it, and actually there are a couple of them where we actually start merging them. So we actually do merge the FA and the TA part together. Of course, this is version 1. If you guys like to see more stuff, we are always open. Send us an email or WhatsApp or FB Messenger. You say, hey, I got an idea. Perhaps you could do this for us. So previously, when searching for stocks, of course, we don't talk about using annual reports, physical annual reports. I mean, even you already have the digitized data. I guess for all of you who actually attended ET Online Campus, you're going to realize there's so much data, but how do you really analyze it, right? So the whole idea behind this was how do we simplify it, frictionless, so that and tested, how do you and tested, which is 100% data driven, right? And how do I shortcut that time to find some of these ideas, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not really a black box per se, because it's not asking you to buy and sell any of these. I just have to warn you, because there's a big disclaimer, right? These are just summarized lists, right? So you don't actually have to type anything in. The box is not black because we actually tell you what the criteria is below it, so you can actually use it as well.
Yeah, it's more like a transparent box than a black box, lah.
Sorry?
It's more like a transparent box than a black box.
Yeah, it's a fully transparent box. Okay. So there's two very main differences. So I'm going to show you, so that the FA and the TA portion. I'll go through the FA part, and then Benny will go through the TA part. So really, when we look at the ideas for value investing, we're looking into four main things, right? Value, growth, and dividends, right? And of course, the last one is actually investment grade, right? So those are the three main bulks that we want to figure out. So what are stocks that are of value, possibly of value now? What are stocks that are rising or turning around? What are stocks that, if I'm looking for stocks that pay me a lot of dividends, what are stocks that actually fit that criteria? So a lot of times we actually had the issue about this, right? We see a dividend yield and they say, yeah, it's high, let's go and buy it. But a lot of times the dividend yield is high, either the stock price is down or they paid a lot of dividends. Now, it's all about, ultimately about dividends, it's all about consistency, right? It's not about what your current dividend yield is, right? And we actually go through and back test this and sort of give you guys a list of stocks. Now, this is fully data driven, which means that it is without context, okay? And it's also based on historical numbers, right? So they give you a good idea, but they're not 100% foolproof, right? No algorithm is ever going to be 100% foolproof. So you actually still need to do some homework, but it actually shortcuts that part. Okay, we'll come back to Benny later. I'll just go through this first. So these themes are, so I'm saying you're going to use it with caution. Okay, it's a very simplified way of looking at things, simple and effective. Okay, so you're going to be presented actually with nine lists of stocks, right? Each of them serve a different purpose. Okay, we have number one, what we call bottom fishes. I'll go through one by one. We call them rising stars, we call them turnaround warriors, we call them dividend kings, we call them moat defenders, and we call them cash hoarders as well. Okay, and why are we looking at such stocks? Okay, the 7, 8, sorry, I think the last one is not there because we're still fixing a few bugs in there. We have continuous heroes and also what we call shareholder champions, right? Actually, we want to call it shareholder focused champions, but the words were too long, right? So it looked a bit weird. So these are all already available. You can log on now if you have an account, and you can actually use it straight away. Now I'm gonna just go live and actually show you guys what we mean. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Give me a moment. So how do I zoom here? Hang on. How do I zoom? No, okay. Sorry, I'll just use my pointer. Okay, so what are rising stars? Ultimately, rising stars is a very strict criteria, extremely strict. What we do is we look over the last 5 quarters, and every quarter is net profit must keep going up. Very stringent criteria, okay? Which means that it must already make profit, and every quarter is on an uptrend. That means it's going against the you know, a lot of businesses got cyclical and they compare quarter to quarter, right? So we created a very strict profile because we wanted to see, are there companies that have been continuously growing? And the whole idea here is actually to alert yourself, right? That means they must be doing something well for them to be able to do something like this kind of results, right? Now, of course, with COVID, I suspect a lot of these numbers will change. Okay, with COVID, you will. Okay, but they still give you a clue. So you want to go and find out if they are actually affected by COVID or not. In this spot, I think there's only 2 stocks at this point in time, because it's so strange. 2 stocks out of 940 over stocks. Just want to give you an idea. So instead of you having to search through the whole database, boom, it's here for you, right? The next one we actually filtered out, which gave you even more companies. These are companies that are in a what we call process of a turnaround. What's a turnaround? So if you remember your 6 categories of stocks: startup, or in newly listed stocks, we got emerging grade, we got cyclical, we got investment grade, we got sunset, and we got turnaround. So turnaround companies are very peculiar, because what we want to do is we want to catch them when they start turning around. That means they may have done something well. New management, new business, new cash injection, new product, several factors, right? But if we don't know any of these factors, can we actually look at some of the numbers to see if they are turning around? So these are companies that have turned negative and are starting to slowly turn positive. Okay. Now, we cannot tell you whether these numbers are sustainable. You still need to go and look at the business itself. There is no shortcut to this, right? Benny, you're looking at some of the questions, right? So keep the questions coming. Yeah, Benny will compile the questions and then I'll just continue, right? So which means every single quarter, you're going to see now, naturally, what we've done here is we've also included the FQA here. You're going to see there's a lot of these turnaround companies, the FQA can be quite low. Why? Because that is the nature of these kind of stocks, right? That means they were good before, somehow they made a big loss. Now, the question is, have any of these turnaround stocks, if their price have not moved, potentially you may want to look at them. Okay. Again, I'm not here to give you advice. It's purely educational. Okay. Now this was the third one, which is very, very interesting. This is called moat defenders. Okay. Now, one of the key points when you want to start investing in stocks, to me, it's not so much about profit. I know someone asked on the Sunday, ask us anything. Choose company A or B, right? I like companies with high margins because it tells me that they have done something special, or they have something unique that allows them to either charge more for their service, or they are able to reduce the cost so low that they can make good margins, right? Now, we don't just take 1 year net margin because that is not good enough. What we actually do is we actually take 5 year and we average out the net margins. Okay. As you can see, there are a lot of good companies in Malaysia now. So these companies, right, possibly, especially in this kind of situation, I know markets come down and gone back up. But these companies, when the rebound happens, they are very, very, what I call very defensive in a way, right? That means they're very good quality companies. If you look at this, you'll be very surprised. There's quite a long list of companies. Consistently last 5 years, they can make 50% profit after tax margin, almost 50%. So you got the first one is 48%, 47, 44, 43, 42, 40. These are really big numbers, right? And we purposely excluded a few companies. We purposely excluded REITs because that will throw the numbers out. We also excluded banks and financial institutions because naturally their margins are high. So actually this list is not just, churning out certain things. We actually really had to look at each industry to see whether it applies or not, right? So that's really what we did. I know someone's asking what FQA is. Come and join our ET online campus. I guarantee you won't regret it, and at the same time you get to do something good, right? So FQA is our scoring of how we score companies based on fundamentals, right? Naturally, if you can see, the FQAs for these companies are very high because one of the results is that they actually have a very strong moat. Okay. I can't tell you straight away how many companies there are, but we look for any companies more than 20% and above, which means profit after tax. That means their earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization is even higher than that, right? And this is done averaged over the last 5 years, all right? Which means you must also be listed for at least 5 years. Otherwise, you will not appear on this list. So this list is also fairly stringent. Okay. Now the whole idea here is you want to find stocks that, you know, no one is covering, no analyst is talking about, and you want to put them on your watch list, because eventually when someone does discover them, you just want to be first to discover them, right? And you want to be data driven. You want to be data driven when it comes to this, right? So I got one question here: is why is public bank not in there? Because we've actually excluded financials. We've excluded financials because naturally their mode is very high because they're in services, right? So the idea behind this is that we eventually want to come up with an app which is purely for banking. We also want to come up with an app which is purely how to analyze REITs as well. So because they are very different in analyzing, okay, in terms of financial numbers. So yeah, so just to give you guys an idea. All right. Is CIMB in there? I'm not sure. I gotta go and find out. Okay. Thank you for scrutinizing this. Maybe we may have missed certain things out. Okay. But the ideas behind this is more apps will be coming based on how you analyze certain things. Yeah.
I guess Alvin also mentioned that you also need to look at the context of that the data that we see, right? You need to know the story behind the numbers as well. So don't just take, because right now what we are trying to do is purely data, right? So of course there are many ways to interpret, especially financials in different sectors like REITs and banks and all that. So you really need to know the different sectors. And of course, the best way, like Alvin mentioned, just join us on an ET Online campus. If you haven't, then you should get a better context on how to use. Actually, it'd be better to go through that so that you know how to really use this list over here, right?
Yeah. The context is very important. So I must caution you, this is purely data driven. Yeah. Okay. So I know someone's asked. CB Lim from YouTube is asking alerts function. Yes. Akan datang, our list of you know what was interesting after we started Copy Time, we're saying that, you know, you guys asking a lot of requests, and we're saying the body can only do so much, right? But the mind wants to do it. So if you guys have you know, any technology or programming guys, you know, send us a WhatsApp or message. We got a few of you guys messaging us, right? Okay, so we are pretty excited. So we are looking to faster we can build this, the faster we can build capacity, right? Okay, so I know I don't have much time. I'm gonna keep going. Then Benny can do his, right? Now these are known as cash hoarders. I know part of Copy Time in the very early ones, you know, we're saying, look, with COVID-19, when all companies have crashed, the companies that will have very little debt and a lot of cash are more likely to survive this recession or you know, potential or recession that we're in today, or slowdown, right? So if you want to be very, very defensive, this is my personal favorite because or one of my personal favorite criteria. If I find a good stock and in a net cash position, it to me is a no-brainer, right? But I'm not asking you guys to buy these stocks. Please don't get me wrong. You actually need to put them together with multiple aspects, right? But this list really tells you how many, and we put a very strict criteria. We said cash minus their short-term loan, which is interest-bearing, minus all their long-term liabilities. Okay, so if you're in a net cash position, you are probably very well suited, right? Some companies are collapsing because of too much debt, or they have to refinance debt, or there'll be a rights issue. But these companies actually are what we call a net cash position. Now, be very careful here. I also spotted some companies here that are potential value traps. Okay, which means you actually have to scrutinize this list quite a fair bit. If you notice, we've kind of snuck in this thing called net cash to market cap. Okay, which means that if you can see on my screen here, this is 132%. That means based on today's price, this company's got more cash than what it's actually selling for in the market. Okay, more than 100%. So really, really, you need to scrutinize it. Some of these companies with a lot of net cash position, they'll probably just be taken private, right? They could be value traps, all right? But really, this is just to give you an idea on you know, what you can do, right, with companies in this scenario. Don't forget, actually, tonight I'm on mentoring session. It's my turn to do mentoring session tonight. So at 10 p.m. So, of course, if you guys have more questions or feedback, happy to hear them tonight at the mentoring session. Now, this is the second last one. It's called Continuous Heroes, right? Now, all this, it's all about consistency, right? So when we talk about value investing, we want to find companies that actually have a strong business model. And how do they prove they have a strong business model? We measure them for their net profit, dividend years, and positive operating cash flow years, up to a maximum of 20. Okay, so we call these guys continuous heroes, right? So if you see, we actually rank them based on how many years they've been continuously profitable, paying dividends, and also a cash flow. You can see these guys here. You can say that their business model is very solid, right, in a way. So this list, I think it's about 100 plus of them, and we rank them. This also excludes banking as well. Okay, we exclude banking because banking, sometimes you don't have positive operating cash flow, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So one of the things that we will have to build another app, which is how to just do banking and how to do REITs, because they are different. Mike asked, why are they blanketed out? Because this is in your subscription, so you actually can see it as well, right? Because it's a public session, so I rather not show the stocks. Okay. Last second. Okay, so these are what we call shareholders focused champions. We know a lot of guys actually want to build a portfolio just to pay you dividends, maybe a retirement portfolio, right? These guys basically pay more than 80% of their net profit every year for the last 3 years. And we actually rank them based on their latest dividend yield. Okay, again, please be careful, because now in COVID, right, we see the bluest of the bluest or investment grade stocks like Carlsberg just announced that they're going to stop their dividend payments, right? So it is possible, because we are in quite a special situation today. So you still need to look at the context of the business, right? Sometimes these dividend yields may not be also accurate in times like this. Why? Because it's based historical. So if they stop paying, the dividend yield is going to keep coming down. Chances are possibly also because of these stocks, their prices have come down. So you still need to put in context, all right? I think the second last one, sorry. Consistent dividend kings. These guys have continuously paid dividends at least for the last 5 years. They've got cash flow, they've got net profit, they've got everything. And also what is their current yield as well. And you can see these are ranked by FQA. So all these, when you click on it, it's all sortable, right? So you can sort all of them. Now, this is probably the last one for the fundamentals. This is where we actually combine this list together to give you an idea. One of the first things we did for this list was very simple. We look for stocks that have fallen more than 30% from their all-time high. That means within the last 3 years, we want to measure how much they have fallen in terms of share prices. Okay. So if you look at this here, this company, for example, has dropped 70% from its all-time high. It's got a good score as well. Okay. So you can see the 3-year high price. This is the closing price. Okay. So this one, if number one does that technical part or the pricing portion, that means we try and look for stocks that have dropped a lot. That's why we call it bottom fishers, right? We're trying to fish the one at the bottom, right? The one that have fallen the most. Okay. Now, the ones that have fallen the most, we also want to make sure they've got good fundamentals. So I think earlier there was Gerald said, can we cross apps and find companies more than one apps? Yes, anything is possible. So one of the things that we've already done here is actually start crossing those screeners in the apps, right? So for example, this guy here, I blanketed the wrong name. So you can see the name here. He has actually fallen 69%. I missed it. They've fallen 69% from the all-time high, 3-year high. The FQA is 100%. They are in a net cash position, and they also have good margins as well, right? So something maybe to look at, all right? So I made a mistake here. So you can actually see some numbers here. So really, this one brings in the price element, and it also brings in the fundamentals element as well, okay? Of course, we've got more time tonight to chat a little bit more about it. So this is free for you guys, right? But I think there's a list of 150. Okay, so you guys can check it out. That's it for me. Then now it's Benny, right? So maybe I'll let Benny finish, and then we'll do all the questions as well. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Alvin. So basically, to explain the ideas on a TA part, right? But before that, there's some questions here. This is from 𝐸𝐬𝐤. Is there possible to indicate the contribution of big players versus punters in certain stocks? Well, there is a possibility, but what we need is real-time data. So, I mean, if you guys keep supporting us, if we get more subscription and we can start to purchase real-time data, maybe we can put that up for you, lah. All right. So, I mean, yeah, if you continue to support us, we'll try to bring as more value to you guys. All right. Alvin, there's also a question about the column sort function not sorted correctly. Is that true, or is it because of the
Yeah, I let us know or send us a FB message. Thank you for helping us beta test it.
yeah.
Although we test as much as we can, but when we release it to a few hundred members and they actually test it, then we actually get the real results. Yeah. So if it doesn't work, please send us a message. We will definitely fix that up for you.
All right.
Thank you for your understanding. Yeah.
Okay, so let me go through with you guys on the technical part first, so at least you have an idea what's all about. So if 𝐼𝐧𝐻𝐸, you can share my screen. So we have about 6 of them here, right? So the first one is tradable stocks. I'll just explain to you what it's all about. Rock bottoms, and then we have opportunities and alerts. All right, so we have uptrend and downtrend opportunities, and also uptrend and downtrend alerts. Right, so I'm going to go through with you fast and see how what it actually meant. All right, so the first one are basically tradable stocks, right? It's basically stocks that meet the volume and the volatility criteria. That means if you are trading these stocks that are in this list, you are at least sure that these stocks has good volume, so that you will not have any liquidity problems, right? Going in and going out of the stock is easy. Second thing is you have volatility, which is good for trading. That's why it's called a tradable stock. That means these are stocks that move every week, right? Here the criteria is about 8% weekly movement. All right, so we want stocks that move so that when we trade, we can make we can get more opportunities, which is better than other stocks. Just to give you an example, right? Like for example, this counter here. Oops, I forgot to blanco the name. Okay, never mind lah.
You want to share the you want to share a screen, Benny? Or
oh yeah, I need to share my screen because
I can scroll it for you as well.
Okay lah. You got to the next one, can?
Yeah, no problem. Let me just make sure that I'm logged in still. Okay, so we're going live here now. So Benny, give you free show.
Can we go to the slides because I have actually some presentation on the slides, easier to understand.
Oh, okay. You want to go slides? All right.
Yeah,
okay, sure.
Slides good enough lah. Go through everything will be quite difficult.
This one tradable stock?
Yeah, next one.
Yeah,
okay, thanks, Alvin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so for example, you see this counter, right? Okay, I didn't blanco the counter name, but never mind. This is example, right? Educational purposes, guys. Okay, the reason why it's here is because if you look at this counter doesn't move that much, right? This is the one whole year of price movement, right? This in 2019. And if you look at the volume at the bottom, that red line there shows you that these stocks, that red line is a 1 million value criteria. So then these stocks has been trading every day below 1 million ringgit. So very low volume, right? And very less volatility. Okay, so as compared to the next stock, can you go to the next one, Alvin?
Yep.
Okay, this counter, so if you think it's the same period, right? It's compared to the earlier one. This one has more volatility, has more movement, and you can't even see the red line. The red line is basically being swallowed up by the volume. That means very high volume. So these are the counters, right, that we want to focus on when we trade. Remember I told you about when we want to buy a share, if you have like 5 stocks that you have to consider, right, whether to buy or not, because all of them met the criteria. I will focus the one on tradable stocks. All right, so this is basically what we meant by tradable stock. All right. Okay, next one, Melvin.
Yep.
Okay, rock bottoms. Okay, rock bottoms is almost like bottom fishes, like Alvin just mentioned. These are stocks that has gone down quite aggressively, right? And of course, it's sorted by the fall from a 3-year high. Okay, this is important if you want to find stocks that are ready for rebounds. All right, but of course, like Alvin said, you need to also look at the context. You need to look at other indicators to confirm that he has bottomed out lah. Okay, but at least, right, because remember in trading, if you want to buy low, sell high, it is not when you're looking for prices when they're going high, isn't it? Then you'll be buying high and then sell low. You'll be looking for prices that are going down, That's the only time when you can buy low, sell high, right? So that's the reason why we need to have this list. So at least you put them in an alert and get ready to find the bottom using other indicators. So to give you an example, Alvin, next one.
Yep.
All right, thanks. So for example, Top Glove, right? This was data from 2018 when it peaked at ringgit. And then the green line is 30% line, right? 30% from a 3-year high. So that means we know that whenever the price comes down 30%, at least 30%, that was the least. That's the least all about. Some of the stocks has gone down like 80%, 90%, but all the stocks that appear in the list has fallen at least 30% from the high, from the 3-year high, right? So at least when the price comes down, of course, when you have a very good counter, like let's say Top Glove or any good investment grade stocks, you will not expect the stocks to fall like 80, 90%, right? The moment it falls 30% is already a huge discount. So this is why you should be considering. Okay, so from here onwards, like from 2019, you see the price is trading at the 30% from the high. And since then, the price has never gone lower, right? And we all know today is history. The price now is trading historical highs, right? It's gone up almost 3 times from the current price. Okay, so that's why it's important, because I want to look for stocks that has gone up quite aggressively and then pull back down at least 30% from its high. Then I get ready for opportunities. All right. So that's the bottom, bottom fishing. No, the difference between bottom fishing and this is that this list is smaller because I include the volume criteria. So of course, for trading short term, you need to look at volume, right? So in bottom fishers, you have like 300 word counters, right? Because sometimes, good fundamental stocks may not have good volume, okay, but it may be good for investment. So that's why we want to keep that into the bottom fishing one. But for this is for trading, right? So we have a trading volume more than 1 million shares daily, right? Okay, next one, Melvin. Thanks. Okay, so now for this is the timing part, right? Where we want to look for opportunities. We cannot say it's buy opportunities, right? Then it will be. It looks like an indication to buy, right? And of course,
is there a reason why it's green in color?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. I mean, visually easy to see, right?
Yeah.
To separate this from the alert. So in the we call it alerts. We do not want to call it a sell because we don't want to be too indicative as well. So alerts are basically get ready to sell, right? Get ready, not immediately sell, because you really need to look at other indicators to really give you the timing to sell. Okay, so what is this all about? So we have uptrend opportunities. We also have downtrend opportunities, and then we have uptrend alerts and downtrend alerts. So there are actually 4 filters here. Okay, but bear in mind that the 4 filters that we have, you actually have to multiply by 3. Right, because we have actually short-term, okay, short-term opportunities and alerts, medium-term opportunities and alerts, and long-term opportunities and alerts. All right. So when you go to uptrend support opportunities, for example, you'll see short-term 30-day, and then you'll see medium-term 90-day average. And if you do not know what is all about, what is this moving average and all that about, please join us our ET online campus. It is all there, lah. So those who already join us, you'll know how to actually use this list. All right. Okay. Alvin, can you go to the next slide, please?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
next one as well.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the important part, right? So this is where I'm going to explain to you where the alerts are. All right. Of course, the formula is proprietary. We don't want to share so much to you guys, but those who have entered our ET online campus, you know what the formulas are, lah. All right. Anyway, so what we want is in a downtrend, the characteristic of a downtrend is different from an uptrend, right? So if the market is in a downtrend, that means the price is below the average. So if you look at this chart over here, that blue line, right, is the moving average. So remember, the moving average can be short-term, medium-term, long-term. So short-term is 30, medium-term is 90, long-term is 200-day average. Okay. So what we want to find is, people thought that in a downtrend it's very difficult to find opportunities, but you actually can. Okay, but you can only find opportunities when the price really go way below the moving average. That means it's been sold down so aggressively that one day you're probably going to expect a rebound. It's the same thing like what happened in March this year, right? When the market really came down after the COVID and it went way below the moving average. But what happened after that? We really see a strong rebound. All right. So if you can catch those opportunities there, today, it's easily you are able to make quite good profits because most prices have rebounded. All right. So what we want to see, the downtrend opportunities, that's where it is. All right. So when you look at the list, downtrend opportunities, it's when the prices are below the moving average and we have this green area when it go way below the moving average and then it started to rebound. Okay. So in a downtrend, when the price rebounds and it started to go to the moving average, that's when normally the selling is going to be expected and price is going to come down. That's when you get the alerts to get ready to sell. All right.
I think the comment, one of the very interesting things is the 200-day downtrend alerts. They're quite obvious. There's a very specific group of companies in there. You guys should go check it out. It's very obvious. Okay, just go and check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it can go from short term and then mid term. Now, if you go long term, that means you know it's really there already, lah. But surprisingly, right? If you do this scan, these counters actually appear in the downtrend opportunities in mid of March, right? So imagine how much they have actually gone, right, from a long-term downtrend, oversold, very low, to a now long-term uptrend, overbought. It's crazy, lah, right? So I mean, that's the reason why we need to have this tool at least alert us whether there are opportunities or whether there are alerts, lah. Okay, so for uptrend opportunities, of course, the uptrend characteristic is different. When the price comes down to a support level in the moving average, you look at the last two green boxes there, those are where it identifies the uptrend opportunities, right? It is when price pull back from an uptrend. Okay, and of course, when price move way above the moving average, right, like what Alvin just mentioned earlier, right, there's this set of particle counters has gone way below the average, even in the long term. So it's there now, so it's alert stage, right? And there's always a trigger, lah. Of course, for those who have attended our ET online campus, you know what the triggers are, right? Because even the price, if it goes overbought or if it goes high, it can even go higher. So what we want to actually see is a price for a price to actually pull back and give you an indication of a rebound or a pullback, right? So what we are trying to do here is actually, of course, there's still a long way to go until you get the proper buy and sell signals. Like Santik mentioned earlier, I think our ultimatum is to create a black box system where you just click and the computer will make money for you, right?
Dream.
Yeah, it's a big dream, but what we are doing here is just the first step, right? Whether we can build the whole step, well, if you support us, it's good, right? Maybe give us more feedback, engage with us, even in the Scorpio time, so that we will try to, because until today, personally, I haven't find a real black box that has worked yet, lah. So maybe we will create history. I don't know. You have to dream big, isn't it? Where we just click, the computer just buy for you, sell for you. Next 1 year, you just look at your account and you make money. Okay, we'll try, lah. Okay, we'll try.
Yeah.
All right. So basically that's it, right? That's the alerts, and of course, like Alvin mentioned as well, from time to time we're going to add more features. We're going to continue to improve this. Please provide us. I think you guys have provided feedback to us. Some of you guys, thank you very much. We'll definitely take a look at it and to improve further. Okay, Alvin, back to you.
Yeah. So really, we hope these things are useful. Just to answer some questions, these all the lists are meant to be updated daily. Okay, but because they're updated daily, it may not necessarily mean there is any change. Okay, I know one of the things that we're gonna do right after we finish this and launch this proper. When you go and search for that stock in particular, we're gonna have badges where it will show you whether it's a cash holder, downtrend alert or uptrend alert. Actually, by stock, you can actually see the badges, right? And I think someone, KP Chin, gave a really good point. He said, how about in our portfolio? I said, yeah, that's also a very good idea. So that's something that we definitely can add. The next thing that we have to work on, it's a must, is actually an alert system. So you get like your Facebook, your little notification icon that pops up. So whenever there are changes, it should come up. But please be patient. We have very that limited capacity. We really try our best to bring you what we think will help you succeed to become a better investor. Yeah. So I think only two of the ideas within the apps are not updated daily, and that is the bottom fishes and the rock bottom. Yeah, that is updated every fortnightly, right, Benny?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because you don't need to update daily, because it's you don't get the least changes frequently.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of movement. I think the rest are all on a daily basis. Yeah. Of course, things will change, and especially now reporting season, the next couple of months, you're going to see quite a fair bit of changes as well. So we are quite excited. We're actually quite excited to see having these companies. Really, I think the question we always get asked is this still a good time to buy stocks? I say, well, if you have the right information, you know what stock to buy, you should be better off, lah, right? And all these numbers are data driven, right? So it's not by gut feel. You think, I think, this is actually back in a way. What I'm trying to say is these methodologies have actually worked for me personally, and now I'm also excited because it shortcuts the whole thing for me as well, right? Without really having to muck about too much. But we are working on a few other apps, so please stay tuned. So every time we launch something, we will. If you guys find sessions like this useful, just to give you an idea what they do, or, just type useful in the comment section. So the next time we launch an app, we can also announce it, and all the subscribers, you guys can actually view it as well, right? Okay, for those who have yet to sign up, right, I'm just going to do a very quick one. Is actually the Genius package. If you still haven't signed up, right, what is in the Genius package? You get all that fundamental information that we have, and now you also get the apps as well, right? Okay. You also get, this is our sidekick or the portfolio app, which we are working very hard in the background, doing the improvements. So you guys just stay tuned. There are stuff that will be coming out. What happens with this portfolio, really, we talk a lot about how much to buy or how much to sell, right? It's not what to buy, what to sell. So what we covered today is really about what are good stocks to buy and sell, but ultimately the portfolio is supposed to help you decide how much, okay? If you're not sure and you want some guidance, you can always join our ET Online Campus. Benny and myself have done about 18 videos there. All you need to do is donate to charity, 100 ringgit, and you can bring in 3 friends as well. This offer ends. This offer is open until MCO. Okay, as long as we're on MCO or CMCO, this offer still stands. All monies, right, raised actually go directly to charities. In fact, don't give us any money. We just want your receipt that you've donated, and that's it, right? So this is our effort to bring awareness to those who have been affected quite badly by COVID-19. Yeah. This Genius what we have actually launched, actually today is almost 1 month since we launched our Genius portfolio. Should we have a look how well it's done, or where we are so far, right? Yep. So part of the platform is that you also get access to what we call our Genius portfolios. So we started a portfolio with 10,000 ringgit, just a beginner portfolio. May the 4th. Okay, so let's have a look at the portfolios. So you click on portfolios. So the Genius portfolio today, as of today, about 1 month, we are up 8% so far. All right. Of course, for the subscribers, you actually get to see exactly what it is. All this is purely for educational purposes. It's not a buy, sell, hold call. But I guess if you put in 10,000, you're up 800 bucks. I've got my 1 month's worth of Genius, right? 1 month's worth of Genius, right? More than 1 month's worth of Genius, right? And that's on 10,000. So of course, if you guys put in 100,000, then the number changes quite dramatically. Okay. So let me just go back. So this is a Genius portfolio. So you get access to all our portfolios. Myself, or Benny's one will be in here soon, right? So one is a trading. These are all value investing portfolios, right? Let me move on to these slides here. Okay. On top of that, we also do a lot of research, as you all know. We are investors first. And as part of research, what we do is we actually share that research with you. And every month we used to have club meetings, right? Where it's 150 people. I can tell you up to the end of this year, based on the directives from the government, I don't think those physical sessions are possible. But we are all doing it online and live. So you actually get to join our private Facebook group where actually we live stream to you, where we invite CEOs, CFOs, the companies we cover. We share our research. So like this Saturday, our monthly session, we're going to talk about hard disk, right? So for those of you who are already signed up and you're part of the package, you should be in our Facebook private group. If you're not in there, please send us a message to our customer experience team. We're more than happy to help you, but make sure that you're in there before. So you don't have to sign up, you don't have to do anything. It's happening on the 6th, which is only for valid and paying members only. Okay, so that's a session. So what is your investment? What is your investment? Your investment is, if you want to go on a monthly subscription, it's 240 ringgit a month. If you want to go on a yearly, we actually bring it down by 20%, where you when it's a 1 year advance payment, is 200 ringgit a month. These numbers, mind you, actually excludes SST. So we are a tax collector on behalf of the government. So whatever tax we collect actually does not come to us, goes straight to paying taxes. So it works out to $254.40, right, per month, for the monthly one, and for the yearly, it's only 212 ringgit a month, including your taxes. All right. So that's about the Genius package. So if you still have not signed up or you want more info, send us a WhatsApp message. You can, if you don't have an account, you can set one up absolutely free. Just send us a WhatsApp at 603-8408-2070. Okay. For those of you who sign up for ET Online Campus, which is our charity drive, tonight I will be on at 10 p.m. for our mentoring session, where Benny and myself are there every week. So Benny is on tomorrow, I'm on today, right? So Tuesday is mine at 10 o'clock and Benny is on at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Yeah. Oh yes, before I forget, we just launched, now I don't bombard you with so many things. We just launched something new, which is happening this Thursday. We launched this thing called Investor Studio. The whole idea behind this was to allow retail investors like you to actually access analyst briefings, right? So what we're doing is we're actually helping listed companies run online analyst briefings. These sessions are free for now because we've just launched it. And Notion VTech, if you can go and find out, Mr. Tu, the executive chairman, was actually on our show about 2 months ago. If you have Notion VTech shares, or you have, or you don't have shares, or you're curious about Notion, right? So he's actually running an analyst briefing for investors. Okay, and this is happening on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Okay, it's happening at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday. But for you to register, you need to do a first-time registration right here. Click on the link to register yourself, right? So what we'll do is we'll put you on that mailing list. So every time we have analyst briefings that we host, we will send you out. We will send you an email, and you will then need to click and register for that particular event. Okay, all this is done live. Okay, so if you are at work or you're driving, you can still stream it, right? As long as you have earphones, you can listen to it, you can ask questions. I can tell you this is quite a rare opportunity. Analyst briefings are generally invite only and only for analysts or institutional investors, right? In this case, so Mr. Tu actually opened it up to everybody, right? So on Thursday, if you want to find out more, their results are going to be out tomorrow night. Okay, so their quarterly results are going to be out tomorrow night. And he's actually going to come out and talk about what has happened as a result, right? So this is their second quarterly briefing. So that is live at 6:30 p.m. So you need to click on the link, register one time, and then we'll send you a message tomorrow where you have to click and register for that particular event. This link is purely just to register yourself on the mailing list. All right. Okay.
All right. So guys, again, if you want to have a trial for 2 weeks, whatever that I mentioned, again, please WhatsApp us at 603-8408-2070. Okay, we will pin it on our comment section so that you are able to get the number at the bottom. All right. So join us, and also the Investor Studio, the link is also there. So you just just click on the link on when we put in the comment section. We're going to pin it there so that you have access to it. All right. Yeah, so for those who have already joined us, thank you very much. And for those who already subscribed on the Genius package, I hope that we are able to continue to provide you more value as we go on. But, like Alvin said, there'll be more apps coming in. So stay tuned with us. Keep on, be with us, all right, so that we continue to provide more stuff for you guys. there's a question by Michelle says that please consider a 12-month interest-free installment plan for the subscription. In fact, we do, right?
Yeah, we're actually working on that. We're working on that because we're trying to do it online, and the
Right now we
banks,
have the offline one now.
yeah, the banks are a bit overwhelmed at this point in time to actually process. We actually have these facilities offline, but you know, I have not been back to my office since March 18. I don't know what it looks like. You know, maybe mold is growing on my chair, right? Yeah, but we actually have that facility, but just not online. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, there's some question about Benny's portfolio. Okay, I'm still in the midst of testing. In fact, I already started testing this week because you know the EPM, the portfolio is more for investment, right? But I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek lah, right? A sneak peek because I actually restart testing this. Maybe you can share my screen.
Okay, okay. Let me stop my screen first. All right, sneak peek bonus.
Okay, so just to show you, is it sharing now?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So here you go. Right. So it's a 50K portfolio. Let me see. Okay, there are six. I won't show all the details. Right. So there are 6 trades only. Actually, only 3 counters in there. Okay. And so the current return about 6%, which is only actually 2 days old.
2 days
trading, right? Yeah, 2 days old.
2 days old, 6%. Wow. Okay.
2 days old. Yeah, trading lah. I mean, it can go down by -6 in 2 days also lah. So we have to.
Okay.
So I'm basically testing this out. You know, and when it's ready, so at least I know I have to use this first to explain all the other the rest of the other you know, the features in there, because trading is pretty much simple, right? In fact, like yesterday itself, you know, there's one trade where it's only 1 day old and it was exited. Okay. And the stock went up about 50%.
Wow.
Yeah. If I only put all my money in that one stock, then it's 50% gain. But of course, that's not. I mean, you really, if you want to trade for consistent profit, portfolio is still important. Okay, so that's the sneak preview for you guys. It's coming soon, so just bear with me, right?
Yeah. So there's more stuff. Okay. So you know, we are really trying our best behind. We hope you guys find this useful. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Any other questions? Yeah, just try it out, like guys, right? You know, if you need to contact us, you can even call our WhatsApp number if you want to get, you know, assistance. If you are, you know, if you can't get us in our messages, you can also call us if it's very urgent, right? But don't call us if it's not urgent, please, because we have a lot of queries as well. All right. So it's 603-8408-2070.
Yep.
Okay.
Just to answer some questions, we actually haven't sent out invites for Investor Studio yet. That's only going out tomorrow, okay? And what we'll do is we'll send you a link where you have to register via WhatsApp, okay? And then once you register via WhatsApp, it's fully automated. We will then send you a link for the live video as well, okay? So we haven't sent out any links yet. We're just putting everyone on the mailing list. Only tomorrow in the evening we'll be sending out an email. Okay, so check your email tomorrow, okay, or Thursday morning, and then WhatsApp us to register. Yes.
All right, there's a question here. Is it possible to do a 10-year 𝐾GA screening? 𝐾GA screening.
Yeah, we can do 10-year, 5-year. I think you talk about 𝐾GA on fundamentals, right? Yeah. It is possible. If you can imagine it and we have the data, you know, it is possible. Yeah. Benny, when is your live trade? When is your portfolio going up live?
Don't worry lah. Trading is a very short term one, so you should see results short term. Well, I don't know. Maybe give me about 2 weeks or so lah. Let me try it out first, right? Then we'll let you know. So just stay tuned with us, right? Because the problem with trading is this, right? Because I don't know how we're gonna do it, because if you have alerts, it's easier, right? Because the trades can come in, like, you know, sometime in the afternoon or sometimes in the evening, sometimes in the morning. And like I said, the next day it's already out, right? Because they already hit the target price. So It's going to be quite fast, right? It's not like an investing portfolio where you hold it a bit long term. So these are the things that I have to figure out first, and how we can actually provide the service to you guys, right? So like I say, just give us another one, at least 2 more weeks for us to try out and see how.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll see you guys tonight at 10 o'clock. For any questions, I'm happy to answer them on ET Online Campus. All right.
Same.
And for you guys who have not signed up for ET Online Campus, please do join us. There's only technically 6 more days to go, right? 7 more days to go before MCO ends or CMCO ends. All right. It's good value. It's education. It's free, and you get to do something good for charity as well.
Yep. So I guess that's all the time we have. Like, just keep on engaging with us. You want to meet Alvin tonight, so you can meet Alvin as well. And tomorrow I'll be on for the ET Online Campus mentoring session, right? So tonight, 10 p.m., Alvin will be there. Tomorrow, 10 p.m., I'll be there at the ET Online Campus, right? And tonight,
so if you want to make 6% in 2 days, make sure you join in tomorrow.
Yeah. If you buy one stock, you can make 50% of it. That's where the temptation is, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so guys, tomorrow we actually have a session on hard disk as well, right? Because there are actually discounts from you guys. This is part from the semiconductor, event that we have run earlier. So this is going to focus on the hard disk sector. Hard disk is going to be history? That's the title actually for tomorrow, right? And on Saturday, of course, we have a club meeting, a more in-depth analysis on the hard disk industry. We're gonna dive deep into the sector itself. That's for club members only on Saturday. But tomorrow we'll give you an overview of where the hard disk industry is moving into. So that will be tomorrow at 8 p.m. All right.
Yep. All right, guys, our Mandarin session starts at 9:15, so you got 7 minutes to go on a toilet break. Join our coffee time on Mandarin as well after this. Thank you very much, guys. See you guys later.
Thank you, and have a good evening. See you guys later.